Welcome to Soccer as We Like It, the Man United Direction, the channel for United fans and football fans, the biggest and best fan channel in the United States. Today we are talking about Arsenal 2, Manchester United nil, all roads leading to Emirates, but we were not destroyed as most fans anticipated it, but we played what you call a game or two halves. Played well in the first half, second half, specialized corner kicks, and I mean these guys' corner kicks are perfection. And that was the game over. Joining me today are we have our local crew today. We have the singing director, the one over in Denver and Houston Red Army, Louis. Welcome to the show, brother.
Always a pleasure, Mr. Tim.
We have the Soul Man, Mr. Positive, Joe. Let's welcome Joe to the show. Hey, mate, how are you?
Going on, fellas? What's up? What's up?
You talked about the frauds in our last show. I think the frauds showed up today. Right.
Hey,
Let's quickly go into it. Louis. Are you disappointed? Are you disappointed? How do you feel honestly? Are you
No,
disappointed?
no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay,
Not
that's good.
disappointed at
That's
all. I think we have to take stock of where we would expected result we would expect of this game 4 months ago.
right.
4 months ago, I think the predictions are pretty abysmal. I think people were positive going into this game. I think people kind of expected better, for sure. I don't think we played particularly well for long periods of the game, but I don't think it was particularly bad either. To go towards the Emirates, maintain high levels of possession throughout and
Yeah,
use
yeah.
on set pieces and not open play. You could take positives from that. I think there's tons of positives available, especially in the first half. And I think again, those is kind of like you said, not frauds. I won't go that far, but players are being exposed. I think, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing
Right,
that they're exposed now.
right. Joey, Mr. Positive. I mean, is there anything positive? Did you were able to draw some positivity from this performance today?
yeah. Like I said in the chat, I feel like there's a lot of things that's wrong with the team, and
A
there's a
lot of
lot of
things
work that
wrong
needs to be
with the
done.
team. Oh dear.
Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with the team, and I feel like Aaron's got a lot of work to do, and he seemed to have concentrated on other aspects of the game that I have, if you watch this game, had gotten better.
Right.
You know, but unfortunately, we still have, the set piece monkey on
Those
our
corner kicks
backs,
were
man.
something
It's
else,
just
bro.
like, and this is something that's been multi-managerial, multi-year issue that this club is just it's almost buffoonery sometimes with like the way we just allow opposition players to just roam around our 3 yard box. It's just it is what it is. That's something that's going to take much more training and repetition and drilling to get that mentality out of them. I don't know. I don't know if we're still doing the zonal marking thing. That zonal, yo, it was. Whenever I see, listen, am I the only one? Whenever I see a team like do like a special formation doing free kicks or corner kicks, and I'm like knowing how bad we are with set pieces, you just know it's like, damn, these motherfuckers been waiting all working on this all week for this moment. You know something's about to happen. And that's just what it is. This is a team that's very good with set pieces. They've won the
I mean,
most
they were. I
they've
mean,
scored the most
those
goals with
corner
set
kicks were
pieces.
like, what the
I
hell?
mean, it's clearly a team on a different level because they have different ways to win. You know what I mean? We shut them
Yeah.
down. We really did. We shut them down. They didn't give them an opportunity to
And they found
score
another way.
and they found another way. And that's what I know they haven't done it yet, but that's what a team that's headed towards a championship mentality. That's what they do.
I kind of agree. I can't disagree with you, brother. I think some people were dissing Arsenal. I got a lot of text message because I was running my mouth. I did the show last night, running my mouth saying, we are going to the Emirates. We're not going to lose. We are going to leave them defeated. I had to go
Mm.
back to after the game with my tail
Oh,
between my legs, like,
Tim,
you know what?
Timmy,
Two corner kicks. Yeah, you were the better
Timmy.
team. It is what it is. I was running my mouth, but I'm happy I ran my mouth because it made me realize, like Joe says, these guys, you can't really. We're not at the level to put your mortgage that these guys, nah, they're not
No,
there yet. They're
no
not
way.
there. They're not there.
Mortgage?
I
No way.
thought
I would have put my
Mazraoui. I thought the
lunch
defense did well.
on it.
It's the attack that like was non-functional.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Louis, the attack of United today.
Um, no, poor. We didn't really create a lot of
Nothing, not
moments.
much.
I think the subs as well.
No, God,
I, I
no.
was I was I was surprised because I thought a lot of the players that came on were going to start. I thought Ahmad was going to start. I thought Rashford.
Yeah, Hamad was the bright
Um,
spark.
I thought Bruno would have played higher up the field, which was fine. I think what the expectation is, I think of this model is this 3-4-3 model is to get a lot of players in and around the ball in kind of a tighter space in order to open up space, right? On the opposite side of the field. And those we want to see the back three skip the middle four and connect with the front three. And it happened very, very well against Everton. Happened a bit against Chelsea. Was it Chelsea or was it Ipswich? I guess it was Ipswich.
Ipswich.
We saw a lot of those moments. We saw those kind of those back to front penetrating balls that they force the defense to react, and there's kind of an instance of panic there. But
Right,
in that instance, we have a lot of numbers around the ball, underneath the ball, and laterally to the ball. So
right,
there's a lot of quick bounce passing, 1-2 passing, wide play, and these kinds of things that come off those penetrating balls. Today, you don't really see that, and I don't think it's particularly because the front players didn't play well. But I also think that they're not. I, certain players I think are not equipped to play at pace
right,
in those passes. I don't think that they look to play bounce passes that quickly
right,
because we're so used to long ball counterattack. You know, those players that play higher up the field are not used to having their back to goal either.
right.
And be that kind of dynamic midfield player. Yeah, so I think it, for what I think the goal was, which was concede as late as possible, I think you accomplished that goal. I think if you concede early in the first half, I think it turns into a very, very different game. And
Right,
I think the floodgates open, and I
right,
think there's a lot more goals. The fact that we were defensively solid overall, and again, there's mistakes and there's kind of panicky moments and that kind of thing. Um, it because we're solid overall and we can get out of the first half, and we don't really concede anything in the open field. I think it suits those players like Mount, like Garnacho, not so much. I think he was very quiet today, which was kind of
very
unlike him.
quiet.
Also, Rasmus, I feel like it suited him a little bit better. You know, yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one because the game is an experiment. It's an experiment for things to come, and it's just there's a lot of players that you don't want to see in the rotation in big games.
Right.
But to his credit, Amarin's figuring it out, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Joe, I mean, were you disappointed? Were you surprised? I mean, the attack for United today.
I wasn't surprised. I just thought there'll be a little bit more energy, a little bit
Yeah, I
more,
thought so too.
like a
More
little bit
intensity.
more of what we see them, a little bit more of that Man City Cup final, type. Like, our guys just seem to be able to get up for top six games. You know what I mean? Like doing Ole. You remember with Ole, we would still lose to the shittier teams on the bottom half, but like when it came to the top six, yo, watch out, and it still wasn't enough because we weren't winning our simple games. We need a little bit of that mentality back. I don't know with these guys, man. It's all over the place. It's whatever. And I just have confidence that he's working it through, right? Amron is working it through. I feel that he will find the best 11, and I'm just hoping he doesn't.
You sound a bit down.
Do you, Joe, do you think that in the long term look of things, especially with the new manager trying to kind of figure out what that starting 11 is, do you think
Mhm.
that doing performing well in those smaller games, those Everton type games, and scoring a lot of goals in those games, and then approaching top six games maybe a little bit more cautiously, where it's like, we're not like, yes, we want the energy and the excitement and those kinds of things, but like, again, like the first half is very very good for us, and it's something that I think we
Yes.
can build on. So do you think it's more important long term to have those type of games against top six teams, where it's not necessarily like we give it all in those games and then we don't have anything left for the smaller games? Or
Oh
does
yes.
that make sense? Does it make sense more long term, I guess, to think about it in that way, where it's like we recognize we're not there, so
Yeah.
we have to perform as best we can in those games, and then in the littler games, ball out and score goals and that kind of thing. Does that mean we're maturing more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can fail forward. And I
Mhm.
feel like today we kind of failed forward. Well, we fell forward, right? We kept our shape. There was the patterns are still there. We're establishing a style. This is something that's going to mature. This is something that is a seed. I see seeds being planted, and yes, and we don't have the huge roots. The and every once in a while we might need a little bit more fertilizer or just something to, something injected into the team from the transfer window. But a healthy growth of the players and identity of how Ruben wants to play, I'm all for it.
Right.
It wasn't that bad. It would have been nice. It would have been nice for us to win today or get a
Right.
result,
That
right?
would have been really
But
nice. But
all I feel is like um, papered the
over the
same cracks.
cracks.
Like if
Yeah.
I would still have seen the same things that I patterns, the same players, the same issues that I saw, right? And a goal would have, a win would have papered over it, and
Right.
so I would say this is a net plus for us.
So considering we
Just to let the guys know that when it comes to the top six,
you're
they need
nowhere.
to level up,
Yeah.
right? It's not all about just Everton and Ipswich.
Considering we haven't won there since Jose Mourinho in 2017, a lot of us thought we could break that hoodoo today, but we couldn't. With a new manager, um, the defense. I thought the defense played well. I thought Mazraoui, De Ligt, Dalot, they held their part. But talk about those Arsenal corner kicks. What the hell? Those corner kicks are on another level. Louis, I mean, quickly round up those corner kicks, those Arsenal corner
we
kicks.
were I was in the office with a lot of different coaches and we were talking about this today.
Yeah,
Um it's unique is not the word, but it is definitely a style that they've made their own, which is it's piling players on the back post and starting your runs from there. It's very interesting style. It's not one that you see very often. I've seen it other places. And I think the idea is, can you cause chaos in that moment? Can you cause chaos? So some people might argue there's a little bit of the dark arts in there, a little bit of the pushing, a little bit of the pulling, these kinds of things. Because it is so tight on the back post and there's so many numbers, maybe some things are missed. I don't think that I don't think that it, the I don't think either of the goals were ill-gotten. I think they were well worked.
yeah.
And
Onana
I
was
think
close to
that
none. He was just like,
yeah, and I think I think that that's a credit towards Arteta. There is a coach
mm,
that there's a coach that I know, brilliant coach, who was did extremely well in the USLW last season. And he had this one corner kick set piece that he called the NBA throw-in style. Basically, where NBA players they line up like four players right in front of the guy throwing in the ball and then they break. It was essentially the same thing. He lined up all of his players on the near side 18-yard box line with
Wow.
one solo player near the PK spot, his tallest player.
Right.
And you saw the chaos. It was like, do we go to that player? Do we go to this line? Like, what is this? And then the hand goes up, they break. It's utter chaos. Ball goes in, boom, goal. And like the first time I saw it, I was like, I saw it in a practice session and I went, oh man, this is going to be devastating. It was going to be devastating. And the first time they pulled it out, it worked and they scored a goal. Place goes absolutely nuts. And it's just, I think for me is like in that, especially in a corner kick, other set pieces, you see a lot of different cheeky things and a lot of different,
Mm.
really creative style
Right.
free kicks and quick plays and things like this. But in the corner kick set piece, if you can create that chaos, especially at the highest level,
Yeah.
where
The corner
players,
kicks are so close to the keeper. Like it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah, and it's I think there's so many different things that you could do that are so unexpected because I think corner kicks at the professional level, I think people, if for a lot of spectators, they're like, oh, all corner kicks look the same.
no, they don't.
Or they look
No,
similar. And it's
absolutely
Yeah.
like,
not.
there's really a lot that you can do with it. And the more creative and the more chaotic you can get with it, I think the more likely you are to score. Because you're right, it is so close to the goalkeeper, and there's a lot of bodies in there, and the ball's bouncing around, and there's so
Yeah.
many that could potentially happen.
Like
And
the second goal,
I
he
think they
headed
just
it
solved.
back, and
Yeah,
he
I
the
think they
dive
just
back, it was
solved it.
in.
Yeah, I think they just solved it, and I think they
But
figured
aren't
out.
United supposed to watch these videos of these kind of things? But obviously, they've learned the lesson.
Yeah, well, I think I think you saw it though. It's like, okay, it's they're on the back post and it's chaotic. So this time we're gonna defend the near post, and look what happens. Like the focus is on the near post, and Xerxes almost heads it into his own goal. And then it's like, okay, well that worked. So the very next one, they put two players on the near post, but they went over the near post and they went more towards the PK spot. And I think that's the one that they scored on, or the second one. Um, and it's because those runners are coming from behind you, number one. And there's so many of them. It's so difficult to pinpoint where that ball's going to be, and it's again, it's creating so much chaos and so many different things that you have to look for and that you have to cover.
Right,
It's straight off the training ground. It's
right.
straight off the training ground, and it's meant to be very very difficult to defend, and they did it extremely well. They
Well
did it.
executed, both from the left side and the right side. So it didn't even matter
I
what side they're taking it. The corner kicks land the same way and cost the same devastating. Joe, your take on the penalty? These corner kicks Arsenal are seem to be making a trademark of.
piggybacking on what Louis just said. Um, I'm sorry. It would seem like what we did was we sacrificed, like when the guys are lining up behind you, like they're the freaking temptations. They're about to come in, and do their thing. Like they sacrifice not knowing our opponents running in from behind them to watch the ball, right?
Mm.
But in both cases, none of our players were anywhere near the ball during the first contact. It was a free header every time, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right.
what are we lining up like that for then? What's the purpose?
Well,
What was the
I
entire
think
purpose?
My
To
that's
watch the
girl,
ball,
my
only
girl.
to watch the opponents get to it
But
first.
yeah. I
You
think I
don't you
think they take advantage of how we would normally set up to defend, like front post, back post, top of the box, PK spot, maybe one to cover the short ball. And when you have players that they have those roles and they're kind of set, I think you can take advantage of that and say, all right, we know kind of what these players' roles and expectations are. They're supposed to defend certain areas. So we can create the chaos and we can go against that by, yeah, let's put everybody in towards one spot behind them and make those runs from there. Because if you're normally supposed to take the front post, everyone's on the back post, so you go towards the back post, you run the risk of them slipping underneath you and going closer towards the ball. So now you might overcompensate by pressing that front post. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, but now you've exposed the back. There's just so many different areas and so many different ways that you can score from doing that. It becomes very, very difficult to defend against. And it's, do you abandon your normal roles and responsibilities to kind of counteract that? Or do you try to um, go with what you know and zonally kind of cover these areas and try to make sure that every area is covered? It's a very difficult. It's very difficult. It's very
It
difficult.
is. It
Arteta,
is. It
I think
is.
Arteta's created, for his team. I think he's created a very, very good way to confuse defenses.
Yeah.
And I think, look, if you after a few games, I think you can figure it out. You defend against it, and then Arteta goes, okay, well, they figured it out, so we're going to switch it. We're going to do something completely different.
Right. Right.
And
I guess to be
yeah,
Mr.
like
Positive,
it's like you said earlier. I mean, like in the set pieces, they're the number one team scoring in set pieces right
Yeah.
now, and
They are. They are
it
the top
shows.
dog.
I,
They are the top dog.
I guess to be on Mr. Positive tip, they only scored twice out of 13 opportunities.
Yeah,
So
they scored
it's so
twice out of
go.
prolific.
13,
There you
Why
and
go.
not
that's
they
all.
score
That's
more?
all that was needed. But
And they did not score
and we
in.
didn't get a single corner kick.
There's something to say about that.
How do you not get a corner
Uh,
kick in 90 minutes?
Yeah, that was wild. Well,
That
again,
that's
what
just
was what we
poor.
said earlier,
Yeah,
right? The attack was quiet, man. The
it
attack
very
was.
was
quiet.
graveyard.
I don't know
Alex
how
has to
a
keep up.
team doesn't have one corner kick, one in 90 minutes. Come on, bro. Come on. But anyway, that's that. So I hope when we return back for the FA Cup third round in the first week in January, a lesson has been learned and we're going to put up a better fight and a better performance than this today. Okay, Amrin, it's only his fourth game, so I can understand he's still trying to experiment and test the waters. But those corner kicks, they've got to figure it out going back. Going back there in January, they got to figure this shit out. There
But
is no
from a
other way around it.
from a defensive standpoint, though, that's really the only thing you got to figure out. Because again, for the majority of the game, I thought it was very solid.
It
First half
was.
was extremely good
Yeah,
defensively.
they nullified each other to a
I
point.
think when you take out I think when you take out Malacia,
He did well.
he did very well considering
There's Saka, yeah,
his last
contingent.
that his last performance where he gave up a goal. I thought he performed very, very well. But you replace him with a player that's going to go forward. He's not going to defend. Which we needed because we were not creating goal scoring opportunities.
But
So I think for the FA Cup return, I think you really have to work on the attacking pieces. I think that's
yeah,
the biggest thing. I think set pieces 100%, but defensively, I think you've kind of figured something out. What I would like to see though,
it start Ahmad in the next game, the return game.
yes,
I mean, you gotta
more
understand.
importantly,
Ahmad did go down during the last game. I don't know if it was his hamstring. He played the whole 90 minutes. Let's take it easy with Ahmad.
well, I think more importantly, I think your back three between now and then can be Martinez off the left, um, Delict through the middle instead
Please
of
don't mention Lucio. Please don't.
and well, no, I think you put Euro on the right, and that allows you to put Mazraoui higher, which allows you to put Ahmad higher. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I think if Mazraoui plays as one of those wider positions because he can defend and he can attack, I think
Right.
better than Malacia could, or Malacia, however you say it. I think again, Malacia was very, very good going back. Going forward, he doesn't offer you much, but I think Mazraoui, I think, is that game changer. So
Right.
you put him in that situation with either an Ahmad or maybe you put Delo over there and put Ahmad higher. Not exactly sure. You kind of we have some games where we can kind of figure that one out. But I think again, there's something really positive to build off of here. So when you do go FA Cup, it's like maybe we don't have to crash out in the third round. Maybe we can get a result there,
That would be great.
push them out,
That would be great. There's
kind
no
of
draw.
make a
A
run
winner
for
has to
the
be a winner has to be decided on the day.
yeah,
There's no, yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw Harry Maguire play. I thought Harry Maguire played very well. I thought,
Solid.
like I said, the back line, they held it apart. It's just those two corner kicks. Oh. I don't know if you guys saw the fantastic save the keeper made from the Lis header. That was a great save.
Dude, worldy,
That was a world
absolute
class.
worldy. That was a goal.
He
That was a
literally
goal, and
pulled
he
the ball
prevented.
back.
Yeah, yeah. That
It was a
wasn't
great
that
save.
that ain't no Ramsdale in there. Let me tell you.
No. Right. So from the whole of United's team today, I need you to name me your man of the match and your worst player of the match quickly, Joe, on the United side.
Oh, kind of easy for me. I like Joe really thinking about it over here.
Was the
Yeah,
positive?
I watched the game sporadically, so because I was at work, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for what I saw, I would say
I can't hear you.
He's in deep thought. He's in deep
give
contemplation.
give 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 me a
All right.
second to think about
All
All
right, I
right.
got.
Louis, who was your man of the match
For
for
me,
Man
man of the
United?
match, man of the match by far was Delit. I thought he played outstanding. Even created a couple of chances off of the set off of like going forward and these kinds of things. I thought that header, I thought that was a goal. It was an absolute worldy save. So good. I thought he played so well. That being said, there were a lot of good performances. Before kind of those subs came in. Honestly, my worst player of the game was going to be Mason Mount, not because he played particularly bad, but just going forward offered us nothing. And I also thought I thought he slowed the tempo down a lot whenever he was on the ball. But then we subbed in the Magic Man, the spinny guy, Mr. Brazil,
Oh man, he was
Anthony,
bad.
and dude,
He had the chance. He actually had the chance that Bruno laid on for him, but the keeper saved it.
it, it, I really, really, really wanted him to work out when he came from Ajax, and he scored that first goal
Yeah.
in his debut. I wanted it to work, um, and I made the comment earlier today. I was like, maybe it's important for Amarim to give him minutes, so in January he can go to Ineos and go, see, see, like he's
Right.
got to go. He's got to go. He's been
Right.
been tried
Joe,
and
are
tested,
you ready now?
and we gotta get him. We gotta get him gone.
So you went with
Best player. I almost want to. I mean, because the way we looked, not getting cut up, I'm gonna give credit to the midfielder. I'm gonna give it to Agate.
Fair.
Ugarte.
Because
Yes, he
That's
played
fair.
well.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
the
midfield
stinker
was
of the match,
Mason Mount for me.
Mason Mount. Okay.
Over
Hold
Anthony.
on. Anthony was bad. Anthony, there was this one time, man, he lost the
They're
ball.
both dude, they both were
I
not
was
good.
like,
They
oh
both
my
were not
god,
great.
oh my
I don't think
god.
Mount was
And
horrible, but he wasn't good.
Could Rashford have done
it's
anything better than conceding that corner kick? Could he have done something better? Could put the throw, mate. I consider corner kick.
Yeah, I think that's a lapse. I think that's a
Yeah,
mental
it's just a
lapse.
lapse in concentration, bro.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
So
But
quickly,
again, from that player, you expect better.
on
yes,
scale of 1 to 10,
the team.
Rashford or the team?
the team
Give him a 6.
6.
No, we lost 2-0. It's a 4. I'm sorry, we
Oh,
lost 2-0.
geez,
Four?
that's
I'm
a four.
sorry.
Four?
That's a
It
bit
was
Okay,
harsh.
okay,
that
okay,
bad.
okay. I saw progress. Okay, so the progress cancels out the loss.
Right,
Jesus Christ. 5.5.
five
Five
and a
and a
half.
half.
I think that's more fair.
Louis,
I think that's more fair.
Don't be giving 9 and 8s.
11. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll do ending the show
We
immediately.
we
We give
conceded
11
we conceded 2 goals,
set pieces.
but they were set pieces, and in the open field, we looked really, really good in the possession and in the defense. In the final third, we were poor. So I will grant them a 6 because again, defensively, it was solid. And
Okay.
that's just a big thing that we've been trying to solve overall. Because we went from a very solid back six and not conceding very much to, you know, the team with the most attempts against us in the league.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see that not only the back three is working, but that there are options as well to rotate. So six, six,
Louis,
six.
Okay.
can I ask Louis a question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
quickly. Let's go.
You give him a 6. That means there were 4 away from perfect 10. Out of those 4, how much of that accounts to our lack of offense, and how much of that accounts to the conceded corner kicks or anything else you saw?
I would say with the corner kicks, I would give it a 1 out of the
You
4.
took 1 point.
And then the other 3 is your inability to attack, because at the end of the day, you do have to score goals. Um, and you do have to be threatening. I think with different players in there, I think we'll see in the return, I think we will see more chances for us.
Right.
Um, again, the set pieces against the team with the highest number of set piece goals, there's definitely work to be done there.
A lot of work to be done, mate.
I think there's work to be done there, but I don't think we're as far off as you think we are, Tim. I
Right.
think I think there is some. I
I was just
think
mesmerized by the corner kicks. That's what
I think
most
I
people
think
didn't
you have
know.
to score goals. I think if you score, if you're more threatening, going forward, if you're scoring more goals, if you're even winning corner kicks of your own, that eliminates a lot of the number of corner kicks that Arsenal get.
True.
You know what I mean? Because like 13 corners, I think, is what they had today,
And we had 0.
and we had 0. Like that is massive, and that's where you lost the game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But because there are no chances on the other side, that number goes up, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if you solve a lot of those pieces, it will help you on the back end. And then it's just, all right, we know they're going to cause chaos during corner kicks. So we have to shore up X, Y, and Z. And these players' roles have to be this, this, and this. I think if you do that, I think the game changes a lot. And I think it's a
You are
lot
very
tighter.
correct.
Look, the game 2-0,
Absolutely right.
it's still a very tight game. And I think in the return, I think it's going to be even tighter. Hopefully.
Right.
That's if
Right.
we're
If,
on a
if,
positive
even
trajectory.
even when they went up 2-0, I thought I had
You could
confidence
get
in
one goal.
if we get 1 goal, it was going to end in a tie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And props to them. They were able to see it through.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as
Right. Gentlemen, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you very much for coming on. On the night, United went to the Emirates and lost again to 2 perfect corner kicks. It is what it is. Are we
I
at
wouldn't say the
Arsenal's level
second one
yet?
was
Are we
perfect.
at Arsenal's level yet? Probably not yet. Probably Amarin will still need time to work with these guys and close these loopholes at the back and go forward. But I want a big shout out to Louis. Thank you for joining us on such a short notice. And the Soul Man, thank you very much for joining us at a very short notice on this Wednesday evening in United States. Well, we shall continue, and we have another game on Saturday where we play Nottingham Forest. Can United redeem themselves by giving the fans something to cheer about? I'll see you guys on next one. Glory, glory.
Man United.
United.
See you guys on
Let's
next
go.
one, guys. Take care.
Cheers,
Good
man.
night.
Thanks,